Brad, obviously a different mood around the club this week. Good to come off a win rather than the week before.
Oh yeah, I think it was a good reward for effort, and we had a really important week on the track last week, and a lot of things to learn from the Collingwood game. And I think the players put a lot of that training into practice in the game on the weekend. So that was pleasing, but another really important game for us, given the stage of the season.
Does a win like that rejuvenate the side, considering what happened the previous week, Brent?
No, not this club, really. I mean, I've been really pleased with the players, even level of attitude. They don't fluctuate too much. It's something we really push. We don't get too carried away with our wins, and we try to keep the mood fairly even when we have really poor losses. That doesn't mean we're not keen to atone for them, but I'd hope the players are, and I know the players are going to be just as desperate to win this week as they were last week.
And with this week's match, obviously a lot of people are saying, it should be a walk in the park, but obviously you can't afford to be too complacent. No,
well, they beat us last time we played them, so we're certainly not complacent. We gave ourselves the chance to win against Brisbane last time we played, and we didn't get the result. So we've got to make sure that we do everything in our power to make sure that we win the game, and we've got a lot of respect for them because. I know personally Simon Black and Luke Power and Jed Adcock, and all these guys are really good footballers. So if they're at their best, as Geelong found out in the weekend, they can match it with anyone.
Did you use that loss earlier in the year as a bit of motivation, given it stung a little bit after you lost that game?
Not motivation, it just gives us a reminder that they're a very capable football side. So. It's not motivation because we didn't beat them. It's just a reminder that if we let them play really well, they'll beat us.
Jonathan Brown's obviously a huge loss for Brent.
Yeah, he's obviously a massive loss, and but he's returned the favour because he came back for them first game back last time we played them. So well, I can't lie. I'm happier that he's not there. That's for sure. And very, as a personal friend of mine, I'm shattered that he's hurt himself again. But. It certainly gives us a bit of a boost.
Did you speak to him?
You know as well as anyone what kind of impact he has at the club. What kind of mood or what change does he make to the mood around the club when he's there?
Well, he just makes everyone walk a little bit taller when he's out there, and he not only influences the team with his own performance, but he makes others around him better. So, and it also forces them to restructure a little bit. But they've got some pretty good key position stocks that can come back into the side. Retzlaff, I think he kicked 4 goals in the second tier competition up there, and Aaron Cornelius kicked 5. So they've got some key forwards that can come in and replace him. But he's irreplaceable in a way. There's no other player like Jonathan Brown. So they'll miss him, but. I'm sure others will be coming in really keen for that opportunity, so we're going to have to be on our guard.
Brad, the evolution of Jack Ziebell, quite remarkable, his performance at the weekend. How have you seen his personal development, given what he's had to overcome as a footballer?
Oh, well, you say it's remarkable, but it's not remarkable to us. I mean, we've, even before my time, we took him at pick 9 in the draft. We knew, all the recruiters at the time knew what a talent he was, and but he's just impressed me with his attitude. He's never shirked an issue. He's in the face of the critics. People have been telling him things that he's blatantly aware of. So his endurance hasn't been up to the level of an elite AFL midfielder, and that's for a variety of reasons. And all of those reasons have been through no fault of his own. But now he's had some continuity of footy. I think he's played 16 games in a row. That's his longest streak in AFL football. So he's now just benefiting from that continuity. So we're not surprised. I mean, it's been coming for a while, and it's just part of his natural development. He's only going to get better from where he is now.
With Ben Spades injuries, are there any sorts of elevating a rookie?
No, we've got the opportunity now throughout the rest of the year to elevate 1 or 2 rookies. So we won't do that this week, but. It's really disappointing for Spadey. Look, the sub rule's only been in for 1 year, but his attitude and ability to impact games playing as that sub role is, the boys are calling the footlong because he's the super sub. So he's in there really impacting games, and to lose him was really disappointing. And he's been just fantastic for us in that role, but it'll give another player an opportunity, and we've got to make that change. So it's a forced change because he'd definitely been our side if he was fit.
What
about Robbie Tarrant in the reserves. How's he been going? Yeah, really well. I mean, we're continuing to develop him as a key position player. We haven't helped him in terms of continuity of football because we've thrown him forward and back quite a bit, much like we've done with Lockie Hansen and Cam Pedersen at senior level. But I'm really determined to develop a range of key position players that can play at both ends of the grounds for the club in the future. So Robbie's been part of that, and I'm comfortable with his development.
Do you expect to make many changes?
No, I think that the side that got the job done on the weekend, deserves. That all players, really should get first crack at retaining their spots. We've got to have a look at what Brisbane potentially do with their forward structure, and so if we make a change, it'll be based on their personnel and probably what we think is the best mix to tackle Brisbane. But all the players that played on the weekend did their job.
Brent Harvey's thumb obviously got through last week. He's all good.
Yeah, he hasn't missed a beat. I mean, he's clearly got that thumb problem, but he hasn't missed a training session, so he's a remarkable competitor.
Is Hamish McIntosh a chance to return this week?
No, Hamish won't play this week. He needs at least one more in the VFL. We're more mindful than ever of the gap between VFL and AFL footy. I mean, the gulf is enormous, so he needs to really demand a spot in the side, and his fitness. Every player that's come up from the VFL to AFL level has struggled this year for fitness. So Hamish is going to really need a really good grounding in the VFL before we consider him for selection.
James Brayshaw said he was disappointed with the crowd on Sunday night for the Bulldogs game. How important is it for you and the playing group to try and make it a fortress-like atmosphere at Etihad Stadium on Sunday, particularly against an interstate side? Well,
look, it's really important, and I understand. I know firsthand how hard it is for families sometimes to get to Sunday twilight games. When you've got young kids who need to be at school the next day, it's very difficult. And even my nephew struggles to get to twilight games because his mother can't get him out of bed on a Monday morning to go to school. So, we understand that can be an issue, but we'd hope all those families are going to be there at 2 o'clock on Saturday at Etihad. And we've got magnificent supporters, the most loyal supporters in the competition. But we'd like them all to come out and force against Brisbane and make it for Brisbane what it's like for North Melbourne when we go to the Gabba. I mean, it is very tough for North Melbourne up there. So we'd like to make it really tough for Brisbane at Etihad and have a really strong North crowd there.